So welcome, everybody. I'm Clayton Rose, president of the college. If you didn't know that, you probably don't want to be here. I've had the great privilege of meeting many of you this morning, along with Julianne, my wife. It was great fun, and I look forward to meeting many more of you after this session is over. There's a reception directly outside. But before we get to a few remarks that I'm going to make, I want to make some introductions. I am joined on the stage by my colleague, Dean Jennifer Scanlon. Jen is our Dean for Academic Affairs. She is a historian, distinguished member of our faculty, and will describe for you in some detail when I'm done our academic program. There are several members of the team that are also here that I want to introduce who you should know. Whitney Soule, Whitney, if you'd stand, who is our Dean for Admissions and Financial Aid, a very important person to have gotten you to this stage. And our Dean for Student Affairs, Tim Foster. Now that they're in Whitney, no one claps for you anymore, so it's just the way that it is, right? Melissa Quinby, who is our Dean for First-Year Students. And Kwa Kwong, our Associate Dean for First-Year Students. Melissa and Kwa are incredibly important go-to people for your sons and daughters as they acclimate and settle into college during the first year here. And we thank all of them and all of their colleagues for the amazing work that is going on today and that will go on. Now, last but not least in the introductions is my wife, Julianne, who many of you have met, so thank you. As I said in the video that many of you have had a chance to take a look at, Julianne and I know very much how you all feel sitting here today. It wasn't too long ago that we sent each of our boys off to college. It was an extraordinary moment for them. It's an extraordinary moment for all of you. A moment that your sons and daughters have earned through great effort, persistence, remarkable accomplishment, and living a tremendous set of values. Something that you are all, I know, incredibly proud of, and we are incredibly excited to welcome them here to the college. Now, it was 214 years ago, almost to the day, that Bowdoin first opened the door of Massachusetts Hall, which still sits and is very much in use today. A single professor, 8 students, 5 from Maine, 3 from Massachusetts. Those of you that are sticklers for history will know that actually they were all from Massachusetts because Maine was a district then and not a state. Today we have about 200 faculty, just over 200 faculty, and about 1,800 students at any one time on campus, split evenly between men and women. And so we've been able to maintain the 8-to-1 student-faculty ratio that we started with, which is so important to some of the surveys that are out there. That was a joke. That was a little bit of a joke. But on a more serious note, if we hearken back to the opening of the college, we continue today to honor the statement of purpose that was expressed by Bowdoin's first president, Joseph McKean, back on that day. It was September 2, 1802, and to those who were assembled as we are here today, he said that literary institutions are founded and endowed for the common good, and not for the private advantage of those who may resort to them for education. This timeless philosophy of education, to serve the common good, is a value infused in everything that we do at Bowdoin. And along with the words and ideas of another Bowdoin president, they continue very much to guide us today and are part of the heart and soul of Bowdoin. The offer of the college, which many of you know about, conveys William DeWitt Hyde's view that a liberally educated person will be at home in all lands and all ages, will count nature a familiar acquaintance and art an intimate friend. They will carry the keys to the world's libraries in their pocket, gain a standard for the appreciation of others' work and criticism of their own, and make hosts of friends who will be leaders in all walks of life. And the offer concludes that these will be among the best 4 years of their life. Now, this remains our ambition for our students, that 4 years at Bowdoin will be among the best years. They will form a solid and enduring foundation of learning, of achievement, of fulfillment, and of joy. So, how does this happen? It happens when our students immerse themselves in this interdisciplinary curriculum that encourages connecting subjects and prompting exploration of things that are unfamiliar. It happens when they're challenged by our faculty to dig deeper and to cultivate a culture and a sensibility for ongoing learning. It happens in our performance in gallery spaces, on our playing fields, in our student organizations, as these men and women experience success and disappointment, creativity, develop resilience, and learn the attributes of leadership. Now, the Bowdoin faculty, they are the heart of the college. Dedicated teachers, deeply accomplished scholars and artists. They mentor, motivate, and inspire your sons and daughters, not just for their 4 years here, but for many years after they leave. And in a minute, you'll hear more from Jen about our academic program and our colleagues. We're also incredibly blessed here with a dedicated staff, and I suspect you had a chance to get to know some of them today. They take tremendous pride in supporting our academic and residential life programs. They take care of our grounds and buildings. They prepare some of the best college food in America. Thank you, Malcolm Gladwell. They advise our students about career and health choices. They offer counseling and support, provide top-notch technology. They basically make everything we do here at the college possible. And we're also incredibly fortunate to be located in Brunswick, and I suspect you've had a chance to understand this as well. The relationship between the town and the college is really strong, and the relationship between our students and the townspeople is really strong. As you've also figured out, ours is a culture of respect, inclusion, engagement, warmth. And one of the unique traditions that dates back many, many years is the Bowdoin hello. When we pass one another on campus or in town, we actually say hello to one another. We acknowledge each other, and we all do it. And through this simple act, we reaffirm our bonds, and on a simpler level, we just make the day a bit better. Your sons and daughters will come to know and live these traditions. They'll live the offer, they'll practice the Bowdoin hello, and they'll have a greater visceral understanding of what it means to serve the common good. And they will be challenged here like never before. They'll explore and they will change. They will succeed and fail. Whole new worlds are going to open up for them. Old assumptions will fall away. And for most, if not all, of your daughters and sons who have done so well to get here, these struggles will be new experiences. And this is an important and essential and a good part of a great education. Pushing ourselves, coming up short, picking ourselves up, figuring out how to move ahead. And in the end, they will discover new interests, they'll find their passions, they'll know themselves better, and they will leave here well prepared to enter the world to make a living and to make a difference. Now, speaking of making a living, let me talk briefly about something that I suspect is on your mind. And as the parent of two former students, it was on my mind at your stage. We live in an age and an economy where some question the value of the liberal arts, and at the extreme, there's the notion that the liberal arts is somehow at odds with gaining the skills necessary for professional success. I can tell you unequivocally that this is wrong. A great liberal arts education, a Bowdoin education, provides the range and depth of knowledge, the capability for continuous learning, the critical thinking, the communication skills, and the ability to engage in deep analysis, all of which are essential to adapt, evolve, and succeed in today's workplace. Now, having said that, I also want to be clear that while I have no doubt at all that a liberal arts education provides a great foundation for professional success, this isn't actually the central reason to come to Bowdoin, and I suggest that there are two central reasons to be here. A great liberal arts education provides the opportunity, and I would argue the privilege, to understand the world and our place in it and to create a life of deep meaning. The second is that this education plays a critical role in creating informed and engaged citizens. And with all of the challenges that our world and our country are facing today, we need this now more than ever. Now, to the parents and the families that are gathered here, you too today become members of the Bowdoin community. Some of you I know are renewing your membership, which is fabulous. Unlike some places who want you to drop your kids off and kind of fade away, and by the way, we do invite you to leave this afternoon, we do encourage you to stay in touch. Subscribe to the Bowdoin Daily Sun, read the Orient, read the Alumni Magazine, follow us on social media, and visit us on campus. But as you stay connected, my suggestion, my urging, is that you let your sons and daughters do their own thing. They will always need you, your support, your love. But they also need to make their own decisions. You're not going to agree with all of them. We don't agree with all of them. But the growth and the discovery that comes with managing the consequences of these decisions is essential to learning and to learning how to face the world and the challenges that it will throw down once they leave here. Let them navigate the college, make their own mistakes, figure out how to recover and create their own triumphs. And they will do that. As President Hyde said so many years ago, for your sons and daughters, these will be among the best 4 years of their lives. They'll be filled with learning, friendship, fun, challenge, and intellectual and personal discovery. And I could not be more excited for them. This is a truly wonderful day for your student, for you, your family, and Julianne and I offer you much congratulations. And it is with that that I am delighted to introduce Dean Jennifer Scanlon.
Good afternoon and welcome to the families of the Bowdoin class of 2020. Let me add my welcome then to Clayton's and take a few minutes to talk with you about the academic adventure on which your son or daughter is about to embark. As Clayton has already articulated so well, I'm sure you find yourself in these final hours at Bowdoin, at least final hours for now, with a set of mixed emotions. Enormous pride in the accomplishments of your daughter or son, tremendous relief that you've made it to this day, and some anxiety about what comes next. I know your position well. Last year, I took my firstborn to college, and in the process, along with a few tears, I experienced this moment in a vastly different way than I had before when it involved other people's children. It was hard and wonderful all at once. My son is getting ready to go back for his second year, and I'd say we've all grown up a little bit along the way. No doubt you have lingering questions about us, about entrusting your child to us, about how to adjust to your new role in his or her life. It's likely that as you and your children endured the college application process, and then the last few months of anticipation, you've checked in occasionally at Bowdoin's website and learned more about us through social media, hopefully marveling at what goes on here, even as you wonder about the future. That's one way to keep up with us remotely. In other words, you don't have to wait for your child to fill you in on all that we do, and we do have a rich year ahead. The academic program and the experience that it makes possible are at the core of what we do at Bowdoin. Your sons and daughters arrive full of talent, ambition, and enthusiasm, and we will encourage them to explore, take intellectual risks, and make the most of the extraordinary educational opportunities they will find at Bowdoin and in this beautiful state of Maine. That process will begin with deliberation next Monday, when members of the class of 2020, fresh from their pre-orientation activities, will meet with their faculty advisors for the first time. That encounter will be the first of many intellectual challenges we will offer them. In meeting with their advisors, your and now our students will be challenged to take responsibility for shaping their education, challenged to rethink assumptions about who they are and what they might study, and challenged to think about balancing a large workload with all of the other elements of life they will want to embrace. Meeting with advisors, their professors, will be the first among many such opportunities, formal and informal, for them to interact with individual members of the faculty. These are among the many rich interactions that characterize life in our community. All incoming students will register for a first-year seminar, an integral part of the liberal arts experience at Bowdoin. The first-year seminar offers students the opportunity to focus on a topic with a faculty member and develop skills in writing, critical reading, research, and analysis from a discipline-based perspective. The topics range widely, and that is intentional. Students will choose from fascinating options this fall, including globalizing India, the South on page and screen, exercises in political theory, the Supreme Court and social change, and even a first-year seminar taught by President Rose, the moral leader. In addition to the first-year seminar, students will choose courses reflecting both their own interests and our curricular requirements. A typical 4-course load in the first semester might look like this: a first-year seminar, a course in an area of interest or prospective major, a course fulfilling a distribution requirement. We have 5 of those: exploring social differences, visual and performing arts, international perspectives, mathematical, computational, and statistical reasoning, and inquiry into the natural sciences. And for the 4th course, one that could be considered out there, but may also fulfill a distribution requirement. I have had the pleasure of teaching many wonderful courses at Bowdoin, a few of them in that seemingly out there category that students quickly realize includes deep intellectual inquiry. My Lawn Boy Meets Valley Girl class, for example, which focuses on the history of the suburbs in the United States, morphs from a class with an intriguing title to a serious study of the ways in which Americans believe in, construct, inhabit, and remember home. You may receive a phone call about the first-year seminar. Can you believe you can study, seriously, the relationship between astronomy and religion? And yes, you can. To be sure, intensive faculty discussion has shaped Bowdoin's curriculum with distribution requirements that encourage exploration and broaden students' capacities to view and interpret the world from a variety of perspectives. We hold out to your first-year students an interpretation of the offer of the college, which Clayton has highlighted, for the 21st century. We believe, for example, to live out the promise to be at home in all lands and all ages, students must explore social difference and engage in international perspectives. Similarly, in order to count nature a familiar acquaintance, and art an intimate friend, all students must engage in learning in the natural sciences and visual and performing arts. And to lose oneself in generous enthusiasms and cooperate with others for common ends, Bowdoin College learning is not restricted to the classroom, library, or museum, or to the studio, stage, or laboratory. It extends to the athletic field, to impassioned conversations late into the night, to the community service that so many Bowdoin undergraduates undertake, to getting to know so many people whose life experiences are different from our own. Your sons and daughters will find themselves adjusting rapidly to new circumstances that are unlike any they may have experienced in their living situations, in their academic work, in almost every aspect of their lives. It will not, as you already know, and I believe they do too, always be easy. At MIT, the dean is in the habit of beginning this talk with an observation. I need to warn you, he solemnly intones, that fully 50% of your sons and daughters will be at the bottom half of the class. Self-evident, perhaps, but also unsettling, with a new set of expectations for your child to meet and to manage over the next 4 years. all Bowdoin students will and should find themselves challenged in new ways, and those challenges may well produce times of anxiety that you will hear about. We have all kinds of support in place to help students navigate these challenges and their own responses to them. Individual faculty members loom large among these supporters. We are eager to meet students and to assist them. Our Center for Learning and Teaching offers resources to support students in a variety of aspects of academic life, and a co-curricular advising group helps students consider possibilities related to fellowships, off-campus study, health professions, and much more on their Bowdoin journey. In addition, there are also many support mechanisms organized by the superb folks in the Dean of Student Affairs office and the counseling service, and you've already heard about those. So what do you do when you get that anxious phone call or text about a class that's full, or a course that's not what was anticipated, or the professor whose expectations seem altogether too daunting? Your job may be merely to listen. And indeed, let me remind you that as you suffer knocks in the stomach following such a phone call or text, it's likely that your son or daughter has already sauntered off for pizza or to engage in something with friends. As I have learned over the last year, it's not always easy for a parent, and especially one who is herself an academic. Part of the process is allowing our children to not have everything work out as well as planned. Of course, there will also, or they may also, be times when you need to do more than listen. You may need to encourage your son or daughter to seek out a faculty member, to go to office hours or a study session, to work with other students. In other words, to seek out the assistance and support that is readily available at Bowdoin. Students who have succeeded so well in high school often find such help seeking difficult. Please remind them that it is not a sign of failure, but rather part of the ongoing effort to own one's education. I believe that the best advice I give my advisees is this: the most successful students I've worked with at Bowdoin are not the so-called smartest or those who have everything figured out. They are the ones who learn to identify what they need help with, then seek out and embrace that help. Our curricular requirements and the promise of education they hold deliberately give students a lot of room for choice. The opportunity to make choices, and maybe some mistakes, is fundamental to the college experience and to the growth of students. In choosing Bowdoin, your sons and daughters have embraced a voyage of discovery. Life here allows a student to discover his or her intellectual passion, a passion that may or may not coincide in obvious ways with prior expectations. Your support in this journey is crucial. Many students or their parents begin by assuming that they should be on a particular path, only to discover that their strengths and passions lie elsewhere. I pursued an undergraduate degree in English and secondary education. As a first-generation college student, as much as I enjoyed learning, I felt compelled to leave college with a profession that would provide me the means to pay the rent. But I was fortunate to have a college professor who suggested that I go on to graduate school and who helped me figure out how to apply for funding and to consider becoming a college professor. After some fits and starts with graduate work, I pursued a PhD in history, the history of women, a field that I didn't even know existed as an undergraduate. And I've had a fantastic life as a teacher, scholar, and now administrator. In my time at Bowdoin, I've taken enormous pride in watching my students study gender studies and then go on to further education and careers in the arts, law, medicine, public policy, education, technology, social services. Our students do everything and go everywhere. Some of the majors and areas of study we offer will be completely new, yet may lead to wonderful academic success and profitable work in society. A liberal education prepares students for an exciting, if uncertain, future, rather than for a narrow career path. Our goal is to help students become learners for life, who will be adaptable, who will know how to ask important and fruitful questions and pursue answers critically and effectively. The hardest part for parents, and I speak for myself as well, is to recognize that wanting the very best for our children involves being there to listen and advise, but also to recognize their ownership over their choices. Bowdoin offers a supportive learning community with the highest intellectual standards. We're here to help students become lifelong learners and grow as responsible human beings with a sense of purpose and meaning in their lives. Bowdoin provides this opportunity. It's now up to your sons and daughters to make the most use of it. They have many choices ahead of them. Fabulous opportunities await, and some struggles are sure to come their way. Your role as family members will be essential as the members of this wonderful and talented first-year class become full members of the extraordinary community that is Bowdoin College. Welcome to Bowdoin.
Thank you, Jen. That was great. I think we have a couple minutes, Kwa, is that right? So if there are some questions, we'll take them. We've got some colleagues here. We're happy to do it. If it's on your mind, my suspicion is it's probably on somebody else's mind. We'll do a few if there are, and then we'll go have something to eat and something to drink. Questions? No questions. No break. I taught at Harvard for a while. I could cold call if you want. But, we won't torture this, but if there are... Okay. This has been fantastic. I hope the day has been as wonderful for you as it has been for us. This is one of the most joyous days of the year. We will all be outside. There's refreshments for everybody, and we look forward to spending a little bit of time with you all. Thank you.